everyone, this is Katie from the Graphic 45 design team. Today I have this cute little project to share with you. It's actually a fairy tooth doll drawing, and I use 3 different sizes of the Graphic 45 ivory text to build this up. So I have a tutorial after this, and I will show you how I came about in making this drawing. Okay, the idea is to actually do up something for my friend's daughter who is turning 1 this year. So instead of giving those typical gifts of what a lot of parents do, so I'm thinking that maybe I should give her some fairy stuff. So I came up with this fairy tooth doll, which I believe that every child, once they have their tooth, especially their first tooth being extracted or dropped, some of them feel that it's kind of a scary thing. I don't know, but to me at least when I was a little girl, so I'm thinking that maybe this will probably cheer her up. And then I used the Precious Memory paper collection because I love the soft pastel colors, and it kind of suits for every baby or every child shower theme. Okay, so over here, as you could see, this is the doll, and I named this entire fairy doll drawing Caring Carrie because my friend's daughter is by the name of Carrie, and I think that it rhymes very well with caring. I know it's kind of random, but that's what came to my mind. So I was thinking of giving her a Caring Carrie or Caring Carrie fairy. So yeah, something like that. And I give her a pair of wings for this drawing, and this very nice pretty fairy wings is from Scrap FX. I will give a list of supplies that I use in my blog, which you can refer to. Okay, so initially I actually built this as a doll itself, and recently I have seen a lot of projects dealing with drawing. So I was thinking, why not do one doll drawing for her instead of a doll itself? So I decided to add something below as an additional. If you wonder what is this is actually from IKEA. It's from the children's department. I'm not sure whether it's available throughout various countries, but in Singapore I find it under the children's section that they have these little cups for kids. I have one here, it's like this, and it came in pack of 8. So I was thinking maybe I can use this as a base for my stride. So what I did is I altered it and I painted it, and then I just attach it at the bottom, so it becomes a stride. And I'm going to open up the door to show you what actually I put inside. Okay, it took me quite a while to come up with an idea of how to create this door that I can close and open with ease. So I'm going to show you in the tutorial how I came about in doing this. So I'm going to untie this ribbon and I'm going to show you. So this is actually what happens. You just pull down. Wow, it seems like those that we've seen in most of the cartoons or dramas, those castle doll, I think. Yeah, that's practically the idea. So what actually I place inside this little cubicle here within the shrine are various bottles. I have a big original formula of fairy dust, pixie dust, and some magic. Okay, these fairy labels are by Nicola. You can buy it from alphastamps.com, and then you can print it and then you create your own very fairy vials. And I also included one empty vial with a blank label. It's actually for Carrie to place a tooth inside, and this is a label that where she can drop down the date where her first tooth actually dropped or get extracted. Okay, this is something that I came out with. Is actually an idea. The parents can do whatever they want. So if she wants, she can add some magic or some fairy dust within the tooth, and then she can place it inside. You know, it's kind of like a fun thing for her. So this is how I came about. So everything was squeezed within this little cubicle, and then I will show you how I create the hole here and how we build this thing. So this is how the whole doors it looks like. So I just pull open and then I push it back, and this is how I open and close the fairy door. And I added the staple here, the drawer pull, which I think that is a very nice little ornament for most of fairy stuff. I don't know, but I always like to do things like that. And I added some prima flowers. And on the behind, I make it simple. This is like the back door. I embossed this tag with the wood grain embossing photo by Tim Holtz. And then this little raisin angel is from Prima, and I actually painted it in gold. So what I did is that instead of gluing down this back door, I actually created a tag, which behind I had this little message for the little girl. Okay, and then they can just place it in like this. I mean, with some personalized message, of course. So this is my fairy tooth doll shrine, and I hope that she will like it. Though she's only 1 year old, probably when she gets older, she will love it. And thanks for watching. A tutorial will follow. Bye. Okay, so to do the fairy doll shrine, you will need the graphic 45, the 3 sizes of the tag, the ATC tag, and the regular and the large ivory tags. Okay, it depends on what you really want to do and what kind of paper collection that you are doing. I specifically choose these ivory tags because I think that it matches very well with the pastel colors of the graphic 45 various paper collection. If you are using a darker color, such as the steampunk, you can use the black tags. So in order to get started, there are some preparation work you need to do. I actually have pre-prepared them, and I'm going to show you what I have done. Okay, on the large tag here, what I did is I trimmed off 2 inches away from the bottom, and then I score a 1 inch line here, and then on the regular tag, 1 inch from the bottom here. And as for the ATC tag, about 3/4 away from the bottom. This will be the door of the fairy doll shrine, so we are going to put this aside. Other things that I have done, as you could see, is what I did is I actually cut a hole here. This will be the window where you are going to place a box behind to showcase your, I don't know, your various specimens or whatever you want to put inside within the door itself. So what I did is, from this score line here is approximately 1/2 inch. I actually draw a line across, and then I use this ATC tag as a guide, and then I trace it from the score line here. I actually use a mechanical pencil to trace this door out. This will be where your door will be flipping open like this. And then I will cut a hole here. Okay, so the measurement of this little box, it varies, but what I do is to ensure that they are actually in the center. So when I outline the ATC tag here, what I did, I used this Tim Holtz ruler, has a gauge. It's approximately a 1/4 inch here. I actually draw a 1/4 inch line, has a margin across the bottom and then the 2 sides here, so that I know that this little hole will be right at the center. The height, it actually varies. So what I did is that I do not want it to be overly too tall, so I actually stick the height has 1 3/4. So what I did is I used a utility knife, and then I cut this out from the regular tag, And then the next thing that we are going to do is to assemble the string. Alright, to build the string, we are going to assemble these two pieces of tack. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue this 1 inch to the bottom of the other 1 inch flip here from the regular tack, so it will form something like that. And then you will have a 2 layered tag had shown like this. So what I did is I actually prefer to use glossy accent because when it dries it kind of harden and it's actually more durable. You can use any kind of glue you want. It actually doesn't matter. It's actually very personal, but I personally use a lot of glossy accent because I just find it quite useful, and when it sticks to paper it sticks like no bother business and you can't tear it off. So this is one good thing, and also another bad thing, because when you misplace something, when you tear it off, you are going to ruin your artwork. But it's a very good adhesive though. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to paste them together like this, and then you're going to let it dry. So when you paste this together, usually what I did is I glue the one with the perfect corners over on the other end, and then I hide this tag on the inside with the round corners. This is actually for convenience sake, because if you have this on the outside, it's pretty ugly. I mean, I don't know, but I find it that way. So I think that this is actually a better option. So once you have adhered them, this will be the main part of your string. We are going to line this with paper before we build the doll. So I actually have pre-cut 2 pattern papers of my choice. I'm using the Botanical Tea paper collection. I'll be using the stripes on the outside and then this on the inside. So what you could do is, when you trace out the entire thing, you trace it on the reverse side of your pattern paper in order to get the accurate shape out of it. So what you need to do is you line it according here like this, and use your mechanical pencil to do the outline. Okay, if let's say the pattern paper you choose that you want to line on the exterior of the string, especially if you have images like this, you may have to consider how you want to trace your paper out. Because if you're going to trace them on a single piece like this, when you fold on the back of your string, the images is going to be upside down. So this is one thing that you need to take note. Because I'm using the stripes, so I don't really care, because the images doesn't have any orientation. But for this, in this case, you probably want to trace the front and the back separately if you are using images like this. But in this case, I'm not, so I'm going to trace them out in one single piece, and then I'm going to glue them down. So I'm going to put this in fast forward mode. Okay, this is how it looks like after you have lined up all the papers. So what I did is I actually trimmed the excess paper on the surrounding and also try to fit into this grommet. There is actually a lot of way in how you should fix this, but I'm just being too lazy, so I will just try and cut and try to fit into it. And I believe that there are a lot of tutorials in how to show how you should fix the paper underneath this grommet perfectly. So feel free to look into these tutorials and find a way that suits you. So now what we are going to do next is to trim some chipboards. I trim these heavyweight chipboards of about 2.5 to 2 1/4 inch both each. Okay, these are the dimensions for the so-called for the little box inside here, which we are going to assemble them later on. So the next thing that we are going to do is to line up the rest of the stuff, the chipboard, and also this tiny little tag, the ATC tag, which will act as a door. recall that we have this hinge here, a little bit this thing here that we have made is to glue it down over here, which act as a door like this. So we are going to line this with some pattern paper, and I choose these two designs in particular to match the pattern papers. Sorry, it's this two. And I cut another one which is actually going to be placed here. So what I did is that I traced the square out from here, which I'm going to trim it through the hole, and then I'm going to glue it down here. So it acts as like, you know, a door, something like that. And actually it also helps me to glue down this thing here first, and then I have this piece to actually glue this over so that it's actually more durable, so has to speak. And it also conceals this part, and you know, this is how I created the door with this hinge here. So we are going to do this, going to line this ATC tag. I'm going to cut this hole out, glue the door down, and then glue this thing down. And also at the same time, I also cut strips of these 1 inch wide papers, which I'm going to line the chipboard around. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you're going to assemble this little box that we are going to line inside here. So I will continue and work on this and put this in fast forward mode. So I have finished lining up the ATC tag, both front and back, and also the chipboard. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is how to assemble the door first. Okay, to assemble the door, you know that there's this little thing here, which is the hinge. You are going to just glue it down here, and then you are going to stick this over here so that it gives some sort of a support here. Okay, so before we go into this, because this is pretty straightforward, I'm going to show you how are you going to build a little box here. So we are going to assemble this chipboard. Okay, be careful not to get messed up, because there is two of a shorter length and two of a longer length. And if you could see, the longer length is actually the width here, while the shorter one is the height here. So we are going to form like a little small little square or rectangle, and this is what you are going to do. I'm going to use the floral on the inside while the solid wood is on the outside. So you are going to form something like this, and then you're going to stick on the chipboard like this. So it actually doesn't matter which is better for you. Usually what I do is I will use the longer length to support on top of this, like this. If you could see, I will stick the chipboard like this. I'm not sure whether you could see, meaning this one will be lying against this one. Sorry, that's the thunder. I didn't expect that. But I'm going to move this very fast, and this is how you should stick it side by side. And I'm actually using glossy accent because it holds on quite well. So before the thunder hits again, I'm going to put this in fast forward mode and proceed to carry on everything before I show you how you are going to build the door again. Okay, so this is how it looks like after you have glue on the sides of the chipboard. Okay, I actually have made a mistake. Actually, I shouldn't line two of the pieces with the papers on the outside, because I realized that there is like two raw ends over here which is not covered. Okay, rightfully speaking, you probably can do this. You should do this after you have glue up the chipboard, but I totally didn't foresee that. I think I have been quite forgetful recently. So but anyway, if you have made a mistake like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something here, maybe some dressing or maybe some laces to cover this up. So it actually doesn't matter if you have ended up doing things like this. So I'm going to put this aside, because we are going to assemble the door, and I'm going to show you how you pull the door open by using some ribbons and buttons. So we are not going to glue this down first. We are going to do the door first, and I'm going to glue this door here, and then after that I'm going to show you how you should assemble with the buttons and ribbon. Alright, this is how it looks like after you have done it. I just made a terrible mistake just now, so I realized that it's actually better for you to glue the tag onto this piece of paper first and then glue the whole thing down for more accurate placement. But anyway, I managed to rectify. And if you have, like, things like this happen to me, it doesn't matter because I will try to do something to conserve it later on. But if you are very particular about it, then probably you want to be very careful on this. So now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you're going to open close the door like this. You realize that it's impossible to close it fully without something to hold onto the door. So one way that actually I came out is I use this kind of buttons that actually have I don't know what is this thing called, but instead of those conventional button where there's like holes, two holes where you sew it on, buy buttons that actually have such a big hole like this, and it actually fits very well on the grommets here if you realize it. And what you are going to do is over here you're going to punch two holes. So what you're going to do is you probably need to use something like this, a sponge, and then you need a good piercer, a strong piercer to punch two holes for you to string the ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to punch two holes here. It's actually a rough estimation. I don't usually really bother to measure about it, but usually I do a lot of estimation, so it's about two holes here. And then you are going to string through ribbon. So I got this craft ribbon, which is double-sided polyester satin ribbon. It's about 1/8 of the width, and you are going to string it through this hole. What I did is I used needles. I used those you know, those big eye needles. You can use like your curved needle if you have it. I'm going to use this So Easy needle. Oh, I think I have needles like this, one with a bigger eye, to sew it through. So all you need to do is to cut out a length of your choice. Actually, I will cut a little bit longer, because if you cut it shorter you couldn't rectify it, and even though longer I can actually trim it. So I actually cut it this long, and then I'm going to string it through. So usually, you know, this kind of ribbon you can string it through very easily, and then I will just pull it through by force to string through it. Like this. Actually, you realize that with the tag itself together with the paper is actually quite strong, so you don't have to worry about tearing or ruining your project. So you just need to do is to pull it to an equal length like this, and then you are going to string it through the hole here, the grommets, to be precise, and then through the hole, or is this called the eye? I'm not too sure. So the bigger the eye is better for you to string through the ribbon. If you buy those that has a smaller hole, you are going to have a hard time. Perhaps you need the help of a needle like this. So you realize that when I string it through the eye using the ribbon, and then you can actually pin it down like this, and then this is how you open and close the thing. Okay, what I do is I actually will apply glue around the surface, and not to glue below here, because this is where you are going to maneuver the ribbon. But I do this at the very last after I finish embellishing. So what I did is I will actually glue it down the button like this. So when it's being glued down, so this ribbon below, which is not glued, you realize that you can actually open and close the door like this, and then you are done. Okay, so this one I will leave it to the very last once I finish embellishing. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down over here like this. It doesn't matter if it's slightly bigger because you can't really see, and then you just, all you need to do is to centralize it and then you glue it down like this. So if let's say you made a mistake like me like this, so before you glue down, you probably want to embellish this to cover up this area before you glue it down, and then you are done for your shrine. Not really shrine, I mean maybe a fairy doll for now. And then you can start decorating, you can start adding stuff and everything. And once you are done up, you can finish up the project as it is like this, or you want to do it as a shrine. Like what I did is, actually what I do is I die cut this piece of ornate shape from Tim Hortons, and then I cut it into half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this with the two pieces of paper that actually I cut it out, and then I'm going to glue it down here, and then this will like form a little doorway or something like that. So when you open the door like this, you know there's something to leverage on, rather than, you know, you let it down like this, although it's being held by the ribbon. And then once, if you want this as a shrine, after that you can add something, a candlestick, or what I did is I used the IKEA's children's cup or something, like this one. You know, I actually, you know, you can do it like this or like this to hold the thing, and then you are done. So that's about it for this fairy doll shrine. And it's raining, so before the thunders keep getting louder and louder, I better stop videoing now. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.